أهلا، كيف الحال؟ Welcome to learn Arabic online with Lubna Duymayan. Lamentably, freedom does not exist for us on this planet because our lives are charged with conditions. Somewhere I heard that life is beautiful, and then I realized conditions apply. If freedom is conditional, it is just some sort of illusory right masquerading as freedom. If it is conditional, it is not freedom. This fact is reflected in our daily speech as a proof. If, and if, and if. Actually, the consequences of the conditional actions are our main concern. Basically, it is your choice. And every choice has a consequence to be dealt with. In each acquired language, and here we are talking about Arabic, based on classical Arabic, there is an abundance of possible variations of the formation of a conditional sentence. الجملة الشرطية. The grammarians have tried to simplify the grammar rules of this language to ease the task of learning, referring to modern standard Arabic. The conjunction if introducing a conditional clause is the connotation of the Arabic conditional particles in and ʻiḍā, employed in conditions that are capable of being fulfilled. They express open conditions, factual and predictive. If we dissect this kind of sentences, we will identify the presence of two clauses. The conditional clause, جملة الشرط, containing the conditional particle, أداة الشرط, and the conditional verb, فعل الشرط, stating the condition. And the result clause, جملة جواب الشرط, جواب, answer, informing you about what would happen in case the condition is completed. The result happens accordingly. The conditional conjunction in is interpreted as if in English, with a possible occurrence of the condition. It is used with doubted events. You may frequently hear from the Arabs the interjection in شاء الله, meaning if God wills. شاء, to will, with only an apparent conditional clause and an omitted result clause, since we already know the outcome of the action. There are different forms of conditional sentences implying almost the same thing. in sometimes imposes the verbs of the two clauses to be in the imperfect jussive, with a tendency to be dogmatic. The speaker ascertains the addressee that the result is decisive if the condition is fulfilled, since in with the jussive marks the intensive probable conditional sentences. إن تتعلم تتقدم. The verb تعلم, to learn, تقدم, to progress, to improve, form 5 sound verbs. They are in the imperfect jussive with the sign of sukun, the zero sign, in their ends. So if you learn, you progress, you improve, definitely. So we have in plus imperfect jussive plus imperfect jussive. إن تجتهد تنجح. The verb اجتهد and نجح in the imperfect jussive. So if you strive, definitely you will succeed. So if you strive, you succeed. A possible condition with its probable result. Another type of conditional sentence that you may deal with is in plus perfect plus imperfect jussive. In ذهبت أذهب. In ذهبت, in the perfect second person singular masculine. أنت, you. In ذهبت أذهب. أذهب is in the imperfect jussive, and the sign is that sukun on top of the last radical باء. أذهب, first person singular أنا. If you went, I would go. Be sure about that. إن مت أمت, like Romeo and Juliet. From the verb mata, the hollow verb mata, to die. So if you died, I would die. إن صفعتني أصفعك. صفع, to slap. So if you slapped me, I would slap you back, of course. So we have in plus perfect plus imperfect jussive, or in plus perfect plus imperfect indicative, the regular imperfect with the normal mood. In تعلمت, in the perfect, the verb تعلم, to learn. تستفيد. تستفيد, from the verb استفاد, to benefit. تستفيد أنت, second person singular masculine, and the sign of this tense is the dhamma in its end. تستفيد. I didn't say تستفيد, so it's not in the jussive. Or تستفيد, it's not in the subjunctive, it is in the indicative. تستفيد. In تعلمت, تعلم in the perfect. أنت. إن تعلمت تستفيد. So if you learned, you would benefit. So here, and the conditional verb is negated with لم, did not, and the jussive. So لم has to be followed by the imperfect jussive. إن لم تتكلم, تكلم, to speak. لم تتكلم, لم plus the jussive with the sign of sukun. تتكلم. If you didn't speak. أتكلم أولا. أتكلم in the imperfect indicative with the sign of dhamma for the first person singular أنا. أولا, first. So if you didn't speak, I would speak first. إن لم تتكلم أتكلم أولا. Or in plus imperfect jussive plus perfect. إن تدرس اللغة العربية from the verb درس, to study. In the imperfect jussive with the sign of sukun, that zero sign in its end, in تدرس أنت, second person singular masculine. If you study Arabic, اللغة العربية, the Arabic language. كل يوم, every day. تعلمت بسرعة. تعلمت, تعلم, to learn in the perfect. Second person, again here, singular masculine أنت. So if you study Arabic every day, you will learn fast. تعلمت بسرعة. بسرعة, fast. So we have here a prepositional phrase. ب plus سرعة means fast. Or in plus perfect plus perfect. إن بقيت معي ندمت. So here we have the two verbs in the perfect. If you stayed with me, in بقيت معي, if you stayed with me, you would regret it. Regret it. ندمت, ندم, the verb ندم, to regret. The use of the perfect and the imperfect after these particles is often neutralized, and the time of clause is determined by the linguistic or situational context. Thus, the perfect, which is probably more used in these clauses than the imperfect, may refer to the present or future besides the past. So the time in is contextual. The main function of the latter is to convert the past tense into the future, and the reason behind that is that only the future may be fulfilled or not fulfilled. And this is applied to the definition of in, which implies uncertainty about the actions referred to. Other variations require the result clause to be preceded by the particle fa, the fa plus a fatha, fa. That is equivalent to the English then. But when? Let's find out. When the result clause is a nominal sentence, the particle fa has to link it to its conditional clause. For example, إن تسامحني فأنت رجل كريم. إن تسامحني, the verb سامح, to forgive, in the imperfect jussive with the sign of sukun on top of its last radical. ح, تسامح, and the ني is the object of this verb, me. And the subject is you, the second person, singular masculine, based on the conjugation. To, سامحني, if you forgive me. Then, فأنت رجل كريم, then you are a kind man, kind, كريم, رجل, man. So the nominal sentence here is أنت, the subject pronoun أنت, رجل, the predicate, and كريم, its modifying adjective. But if you start the conditional sentence with the result clause, you have to omit the fa, because the fa is meant to link the result clause to its preceding conditional clause. So if I say أنت رجل كريم إن تسامحني, the fa is no more in need. When the result clause is a verbal sentence containing an imperative verb, or a negative imperative, or an interrogative word, the particle fa has to connect the two clauses. For instance, إن تمرض فاذهب إلى الطبيب. From the verb مرض, to get sick, تمرض, in the imperfect jussive, second person singular masculine, أنت, in تمرض, because you have that prefix ta, referring to you. Second person singular masculine, أنت, تمرض, in the jussive with the sign of sukun in its end, تمرض. فذهب. So, as you remember, the way we form an imperative, so the verb ذهب, to go, so in the third person singular masculine, ذهب هو, he went. يذهب in the jussive, imperfect jussive, يذهب. So based on this conjugation, we are going to form the imperative form. We have to get rid of the prefix of the conjugation, keep the rest, ذهب, ذهب. And since a word cannot start with a sukun, we have to add a hamza, and hamza needs an alif. So we have our alif hamza, and mostly you won't see the hamza written. And you will check the middle, the stop vowel. We have a fatha. If it's a fatha or a kasra, we would have a kasra for the alif. So we would say idhab, and we write it just this way, idhab. But if it is preceded by any word, in this case we have a fa. So if we attach the fa to it, I would say fadhhab. The hamza is elided for an easier pronunciation. So we would say fadhhab, not fa'idhhab. So here we have in plus imperfect jussive plus imperative. This is another form of conditional sentences. إن سمعت صراخي فلا تفزع. The verb سمع in the perfect and أنت, second person singular masculine. إن سمعت, if you hear my screaming, صراخي, صراخ, screaming, e, the suffix e referring to my screaming. If you hear my screaming, then don't panic. فلا, the particle of negation, لا, plus the imperfect adjective to negate the imperative. لا تفزع with the sign of sukun in its end. لا تفزع. Don't panic. So you have in plus perfect plus imperative. إن تسافر إلى الصين فهل the interrogative word هل ستتصل بي. So in تسافر, the verb سافر, to travel, in the imperfect adjective second person singular masculine. In تسافر, if you إلى الصين, if you travel to China, إلى الصين, to China, then will you call me? هل ستتصل, اتصل, to call, with the prefix sa, referring to the future, sa plus the imperfect indicative, or سوف plus the imperfect indicative equals the future tense. Be, me, اتصل بي. اتصل is construed with be, the preposition be, and the ya referring to myself, to me, be, call me. So here we have a fa connected to hal, the interrogative word hal. So if you go to China, then will you call me? That I can ask you to buy some gifts. The reason why you're not gonna call me. In plus imperfect adjective plus interrogative word is another form to consider. When the result clause begins with the particle of negation ma, not, you will spot fa next to it. In رغبتم في النجاح فما تكاسلتم عن عملكم. إن رغبتم, رغب, sound verb, رغب, to wish, to want. If you wished for success, إن رغبتم في النجاح, رغب في النجاح, wish for success, النجاح, success. So if you wished for success, then you would not slacken off in your work. Slacken off, تكاسل, فما تكاسلتم عن عملكم, slacken off in your work. So in رغبتم, in the perfect, تكاسلتم, in the perfect. When the result clause begins with the verb of negation ليس, not to be, is one of كان and its sisters. كان, to be. ليس, not to be. Or other invariable verb like عسى, maybe, perhaps. For instance, إن تذهب إلى الشاطئ فليس الجو سيئا. فليس. See, is attached to ليس. So if you go in تذهب غدا إلى الشاطئ, if you go tomorrow, غدا, tomorrow, to the beach, then the weather is not bad. The weather, الجو, ليس, is not bad, سيئا. Okay? and the noun of ليس is in the nominative, and the predicate is in the accusative. When the result clause begins with the particle قد or ربما, meaning perhaps, you have to attach the particle ف. إن تستخبر الناس, in the imperfect, jussive. إن تستخبر, the verb is استخبر, to call for an answer, استخبر. فقد, فقد, ف plus قد. فقد تعرف الحقيقة, and قد here is followed by the imperfect indicative with the sign of ضمة. تعرف, فقد تعرف الحقيقة. So if you call people for an answer, إن تستخبر الناس, الناس, people, then you will possibly know the truth. So then you will possibly, فقد, قد, possibly or perhaps, you will possibly know the truth. فقد تعرف الحقيقة, الحقيقة, the truth. So قد plus imperfect indicative express expectancy. إن اعتذرت له فربما يسامحك. So إن اعتذرت, if you apologize to him, then he may forgive you. فربما يسامحك. Here again, إن اعتذرت له فربما يسامحك. The verb after ربما is in the imperfect indicative. يسامحك. أنت, second person singular masculine. When the result clause begins with the particle لن, لن negates the future, will not, then the fa is there. إن تشاهد هذا الفيلم فلن يعجبك. So إن تشاهد, the verb شاهد, to watch, in the imperfect jussive with the sign of سكون. So if you watch this movie, هذا الفيلم, فلن, then you will not like it. فلن يعجبك. أعجب, to like. And here there is a فتحة on top of the last radical, the ba. يعجبك. Because لن puts the following imperfect in the jussive mood with the sign of فتحة. لن يعجبك. When the result clause begins with the future particle س or سوف, will, س or سوف, plus the imperfect indicative to form the future. إن فكرت, فكر, to think, in the perfect. إن فكرت جيدا, if you think well. فستجد, so we have the fa representing then plus sa, the particle used for future, sa or سوف. تجد plus the imperfect indicative of the verb وجد, to find. فستجد or فسوف تجد حلا, a solution, لمشكلتك, a solution for your problem or to your problem. So if you think well, then you will find a solution, حلا, to your problem. لمشكلتك. Your problem. مشكلة, problem. مشكلتك, your problem. Second person singular masculine. And مشكلتي, the T, we have that kasra. The مشكلة, this feminine noun is in the genitive because it is preceded by لمشكلتك. When the result clause begins with the lam of command, لام الأمر. إن أردت الذهاب إلى الحفلة فلنذهب معا. إن أردت, أراد, to want, in the imperfect jussive. أنت, again, second person singular masculine, with the sign of sukun on top of the last radical dal. أردت. And ta, the suffix ta is referring to you. الذهاب. So if you want to go, الذهاب is the verbal noun of ذهب. الذهاب, going, or to go. To the party, إلى الحفلة. If you want to go to the party, then let's go together. So that let's go, we have the lam of command plus the jussive. نذهب. First person, plural. نحن, we. نذهب. فلنذهب. So we have a fa plus lam of the lam of command. فلنذهب. Normally it's لنذهب. But when that li is preceded by fa, that kasra turns to a sukun just for an easier pronunciation. Sounds better and softer. فلنذهب. فلنذهب instead فلنذهب. فلنذهب. معا, together. Then let's go together. معا, together. إذا is used exactly like in. However, the former does not turn the conditional verb of the conditional clause into the jussive mood. إذا تعرفت بصديقي ندمت. تعرف, to meet someone. تعرف is construed with the preposition be. تعرف بي. So إذا تعرفت بصديقي ندمت. If you meet my friend, صديقي, my friend, you will regret. ندمت, ندم, to regret. So here we have إذا plus perfect plus perfect. تعرفت, second person singular masculine, ندمت. So the conditional verb refers to the future, even though it is in the perfect form. It may also be followed by the imperfect indicative. It's your choice. إذا علمتني السباحة كنت لك شاكرا. So here we have the verb علم, to teach, in the perfect. Second person, singular masculine, أنت علمت, with the suffix ta of the conjugation, علمت. Ni is the object of this verb. If you teach me, علمتني السباحة. If you teach me swimming, السباحة is a verbal noun. So we use the gerund form in English, ing. Swimming. If you teach me swimming, I will be grateful or thankful. So كنت, كان, the verb to be in the perfect. كنت. first person singular أنا. كنت لك شاكرا. شاكرا is the active participle of شكر. شكر to thank. شاكرا thankful or grateful. شاكرا لك or كنت لك شاكرا grateful to you. So شاكرا لك, we use that lam plus the project referring to the addressee. شاكرا لك or لك شاكرا. And since I am addressing second person singular masculine, I am attaching that ka to la. Alright? So if you teach me swimming, I will be grateful to you. إذا ذهبت إلى المطعم العربي المجاور أكلت طعاما ممتازا. إذا ذهبت, ذهب in the perfect second person singular masculine. إذا ذهبت, if you go to. So here we have the preposition إلى. That's why whatever comes after is in the genitive with the sign of كسرة. إلى المطعم, the restaurant. العربي, the Arabic. المجاور, the neighboring. So we'll flip over all the order. So we will start with المجاور, the neighboring Arabic restaurants. إلى المطعم العربي المجاور. You will eat an excellent food. أكلت, أكل, to eat, in the perfect second person singular masculine. طعاما is the object of أكل. That's why it is in the accusative. And since it is indefinite, it has to bear two fathas. فتحة تنوين. And its modifying adjective ممتازا has to match in number and gender and case. So ممتازا, excellent, an excellent food. ممتازا, food, طعاما. إذا قرأت كتبا عربية فاقرأ كتب الكاتب نجيب محفوظ. So إذا قرأت, from the verb قرأ, to read, in the perfect second person singular masculine. قرأت, we have that suffix ta referring to you. كتبا, كتبا عربية, Arabic books, if you read Arabic books. So عربية is singular feminine, modifying the plural noun كتبا. And it is singular feminine because كتب is a non-human plural. So كتبا, books, عربية, Arabic books. فقرأ, the verb قرأ, to read, in the imperative. اقرأ. So قرأ, يقرأ is the adjective. You omit the ya, we have قرأ. And the stern vowel is فتحة, so we have اقرأ. And since it is preceded by fa, the hamza is elided. So we say فقرأ, then read. فقرأ كتب الكاتب. Here we have an إضافة. كتب الكاتب, the books of the writer. الكاتب, the writer. نجيب محفوظ is the name of the writer. So then read the books of the writer نجيب محفوظ. And Najib Mahfoud is the appositive of al-katib. That's why it is in the genitive. You can say just كتب نجيب محفوظ instead of saying كتب الكاتب, the الكاتب نجيب محفوظ, the books of Najib Mahfoud, or the books of the writer Najib Mahfoud, for more information. So this sentence has a command in its result clause that requires the particle ف as a link. إذا بدأت عطلتكم فزوروا لبنان. بدأ, to start, to begin, is conjugated in the third person singular feminine, since عطلة is a singular feminine noun. She, since we don't have it in Arabic. So if your vacation starts, فزوروا, from the verb zara, the hello verb zara, to visit, in the imperative. Second person, plural masculine, فزوروا لبنان. Then visit Lebanon. لبنان here is invariable, it comes with a fatha. So إذا بدأت عطلتكم and عطلتكم فزوروا لبنان. You may encounter إذا plus imperfect indicative plus imperfect indicative, or إذا plus imperfect indicative plus perfect, or إذا plus perfect plus imperfect indicative. Everything is possible with Arabic. إذا can sometimes be translated as when, depending on the message you are willing to convey. In may be considered for uncertain things, whereas إذا seems to give a greater degree of certainty. The list of the conditional particles is as long as your lifespan, because Arabic is older than you. So patience is required. As said, learn Arabic, it will sharpen your wisdom. أتمنى لكم يوم